Sweet 16 men's NCAA tournament tips off tonight. A warning from Alabama's Attorney General surrounding one popular website and 2 arrests after a man was shot to death this morning in Pritchard. This is News 5 Now.
Brought to you by Green & Phillips, covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
I'm Cherish Lombard. Thank you for joining us here for News 5 Now. This is where we will look at your answers to the question of the day, also the poll of the day, and we'll take a look at the 5 big stories of the day. That is where we always begin, so we won't do things any differently tonight. Here are your 5 big stories. Number 5, young adults may be setting themselves up for cardiovascular issues later in life. Reps for the American Heart Association say the time between the age of 18 and mid to late 20s are crucial to heart health. They say by the time they're 18, many teens have heart disease risk factors including obesity, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, even tobacco use, and some will already have heart problems by that age. Number 4, the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Brigham Young University Cougars will tip off the Sweet 16 in about half an hour. The matchup features 2 of the nation's highest scoring offenses in college basketball. Alabama is about a 4.5-point favorite. Tip-off is set for 6:09, and you can watch the game on WKRG. Number 3, Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall says if you used 23andMe, you should delete your account to protect your personal information. The genetic testing company filed for bankruptcy this month, and the company co-founder and CEO resigned. Number 2, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves just signed a bill eliminating the state income tax. The House bill passed the state legislature despite a typo that will accelerate the tax elimination process. The bill also reduces the grocery tax from 7% to 5%, and raises the gas tax slightly over a period of 3 years. Number 1, 2 arrests after a man was shot to death early this morning in Pritchard. 21-year-old Jadion Blunt and 21-year-old Kenneth Padgett were arrested this afternoon, and both face murder and receiving stolen property charges. Mobile County Sheriff's deputies say 35-year-old James Wright was shot to death around 12:15 on Helen Street off St. Stephen's Road. Those are your 5 big stories of the day. Now on to the question of the day. I like this one. What is one TV moment that has made you emotional? It's on the WKRG Facebook page. We were talking about this on the 4 on 5. I was hoping Simone would come in because she said Extreme Home Makeover gets her emotional. Do you remember the show? Well, it's still around, just This Is Us. I think you can watch it on maybe Netflix. I could be wrong about that. This Is Us. Oh, there are some moments in that show. And for me, I always, if I see an animal in a movie, a TV show, I have to go to my website, go to Does the Dog Die? For those of you who have a heart that breaks when you see any animals hurt, make sure you use that website. Oh, it has saved me a lot of tears because I will stop watching something if any animal, and it's not just dogs, it's any animals. It'll tell you if anything happens to them. So, TV moment that has made you emotional. Here we go. Looking at the Facebook comments. Carol says, the death of Wallowit's mom on The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I love that show. I really do. John, when Eli Manning beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Getting a lot of laughs on that one. Catherine says, when Leo McGarry had a heart attack on the West Wing, 2 cathedrals. And then George says, taking it back, when JR got shot. Melissa says, just watched it, Survivor, when the very first contestant on the show who has autism broke down. It hit hard. Christy says, every episode of The Pit so far. A lot of these shows I haven't seen yet. Oh, yeah, The Yearling. Oh, don't even get... There you go. See, that is when this one came out back in the day. But if we had that website, Does the Dog Die, we would have known The Yearling. Yeah, can't do it. I am totally with you, Brenda. Yeah, none of those movies. Even like Fox and the Hound and Turner and Hooch. Leon Petit and I were talking about all these movies today that we couldn't watch. Old Yeller, any of those things. Arlene says, when Claudia Joy died on Army Wives, And Naomi says, when James from Good Times died. So a lot of people commenting on television moments that have really affected you and stuck with you, and that makes a whole lot of sense. All right, the poll. Now let's go to that. And there's been a lot of talk, particularly since President Trump took office, about electric vehicles. So the News 5 Now poll of the day, would you ever buy an electric vehicle? The votes are in, and 22% who voted say yes, 78% say no. How about that? Tomorrow's question of the day is already on Facebook. Describe a food combo you love, but other people find a little weird. When I was growing up, I used to like to put ketchup in my macaroni and cheese. A lot of people thought that was weird. I don't know. It's kind of one of those acquired tastes that you kind of lose, goes the opposite way as you get older, I guess. Not quite as great anymore. Looking forward to hearing what you are saying about that. And you can vote in the next Facebook poll. That is, what's scarier, the ocean or space? All right. Very interesting stuff there. Thank you again for joining us for News 5 Now. We'll do this again tomorrow. Remember that game, Alabama game, NCAA tournament coming on WKRG 609 tip-off time against BYU. So no 6 o'clock or 6:30 newscast. However, you can get your 9 o'clock news on our sister station, Channel 55.1, the Gulf Coast CW at 9, and then WKRG News 5 at 10 on WKRG is going to be delayed due to NCAA, but you will be able to get your local news after the game. Thanks again for being here. Have a great evening, everybody. Stay safe, stay positive.
Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. You are watching News 5 Now, brought to you by Green & Phillips.